Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome or welcome back to Locs Lifestyle. So today I am here with the long awaited, highly anticipated Loc Extension install video. So if you would like to see how I went from this to this, then just keep watching.
The sun shines on all of my glory. My flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
So I'm not quite sure how this video will be edited, but I am going to start with showing you guys all the products that I'm going to be using. So first I'll start with the clip of the hair that I'm going to be using. So I purchased my hair from a seller on Etsy. The seller is AfrikanLocs. I will have a link and all the details about my hair in the description box. So I'm sorry y'all, my camera was not focusing, so bear with me. These are handmade human hair lock extensions, and I got the ones with the curly ends. This seller does also sell other styles, so if you're looking for a more like standard mature lock with a rounded end, she has those as well. But I got them in the color 27 as well as in the color number 4, and I ordered a total of 7 bundles. Each bundle comes with 10 locks. I also got them in a variety of sizes and lengths, so I got a mixture of small and medium size locks as well as 8 and 10 inch, just because all of my locks are kind of unique and different, and I just wanted this install to look as natural as possible. And I also recommend washing and conditioning these before you install it. And then here is just a side-by-side comparison of how the hair looks before and after you wash and condition it. So those ends, those curly ends do loosen up and relax a bit. So in addition to your lock extensions, there are some other products that you will need for this install. The first thing you'll need is a crochet needle. So I ordered a set of 3 and I purchased these from Amazon. I'm gonna try to find the link, but yes, I purchased these crochet needles. This is 0.75 millimeters, that's the size. And so this set came with a 1 prong, a 2 prong, as well as a 3 prong. So far, I've been using a combination of all 3, just because I find that on some locks, different needles work best, but it's not absolutely necessary that you get all 3. If anything, I would say get 1 and 2. So the next thing I recommend getting are finger protectors. I ordered some of these off of Amazon as well. They're just like little rubber protectors that you can put on your fingers, basically to protect your fingers from the needle as you're working. I also use these when combing out the ends of my locks as well, so I would highly recommend those. And honestly, that's pretty much all you need for the installation portion. You need your lock extensions, you need your crochet needles, and I would highly recommend getting finger protectors. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have started on my head. I'm about halfway through now. So this is what we have so far. For the most part, I focused on putting the 10 inches in the back, and then I've been kind of working in the 8 inches as I get higher. My actual like real lock, the back is kind of naturally longer, and then around the top sides, my locks are a little shorter. And so I kind of wanted to keep that same shape. Also, at first I said I was going to touch up my color before doing the installation process, but I noticed that like the color match was pretty close for my locks and the lock extensions. So I decided to install these first, and then I'm going to touch up my color afterwards, and then I'll retwist and all of that. So right now we're just actually installing them. So I'm basically working the same way that I would do like a retwist, starting from the back, and then the higher I get up, I start bringing it around. And then I'm also alternating sides. So I'll do one on this side, then I'll do one on this side, then I'll do one on this side, I'll do one on this side. I don't know if that really makes a difference. And then I'm just choosing locks based on the size of the lock extension and the size of my natural locks, and I try to find one that's very comparable in size. So here's the first lock that I'm going to work. So like this one, this is the lock extension. It's a little thicker. I may have one that's kind of smaller. Obviously it's not going to be exact, but just try to find one that's close in size. So I think this is a pretty good match. So I'm gonna take the lock extension, and I just like to take this little comb here and just kind of tease it a little bit. And then I'm also going to take my loc right here. You guys, this is the combed out portion, and I'm gonna tease that a little bit too. I just find that when I tease it, it's easier to connect the pieces. So here is my loc. I'm gonna take the Loc Extension, and you basically want to overlap those loose parts. So I see people, they just overlap this part right here. However, I find that the hair doesn't really stay when you only overlap like the loose hair part. So I bring mine up a little higher and like that. So if you lay just the loose hair over the loose hair, you will have a hard time getting the hair to stick together. So bring it up a little bit so that the loose hair falls over the loc portion as well. And then I like to start with the 2-prong, and it's going to be hard to see with these protectors on, but I'm basically just going into that area and just pushing the needle in and out. And then you can also start to just kind of turn the hair a little bit and then continue to go in and out. And in addition to going in and out, like every time I come out, I may go up a little more and go in and out, and then I may come back down and go in and out. Like I'm just trying to gather those loose hairs together, bringing them in to the locs, kind of, if that makes sense. So as you guys can see, it's starting to stick together. And then once I get them connected pretty good, I'm just going to take my hands and palm roll it just to kind of push that hair into one another. And then I'm gonna go back in and do the same thing again. Then I palm roll it some more. Then I'm gonna go in with the 1-prong. Some of this like loose hair that's like on the loc portion, I'm gonna go in with the 1-prong and kind of mesh that with the loc part. I find that it's easier to do like the smaller pieces of hair with the 1-prong, because when you use the 2-prong or the 3-prong, it kind of pulls more hair out, and I kind of use this to push the hair in. And then the same thing with the bottom part of the loc. And then you have to do the pull test. So as I go, I kind of pull to see if like the hair is separating. I kind of found my rhythm, but I noticed in the beginning when I would pull, like it would kind of slide out. So I encourage you to pull ever so often just to make sure that the hair is actually staying together. If you feel it start to slide, then go back in and crochet it some more. But that's really pretty much it. I crochet, palm roll, pull, see if I need to tighten it more. And here it is. So that one was actually a pretty quick one. All of them have not been quick like that. Some take a little more time, but that is pretty much the process. It's not a hard process, but it is a very tedious process. This is one of my thicker locks. I didn't realize how thick some of my locks were in the back. So I do have some thicker locks in the back that I feel like are a little thicker than some of the lock extensions I have. So I try to match those ones up as best as possible. But same process, go ahead and tease my lock extension. I'm gonna go in and tease the end of my lock. Okay, so y'all see how this one is sliding? So some of them you will have to start over. And I'm just going to raise it a little higher this time. Wait, that's too high. Maybe right here. So this one took a little longer. Yeah, but that's the general process. Like, you'll have some that you can power through really quickly, and then there are going to be some that require a little more attention, especially considering that most of our locks are not like identical. Each lock is truly different, and I feel like this process, you really see how different your locks are. That is pretty much the process of how you install them. This is how my hair looks after all the lock extensions have been installed. I was a little nervous at this point, but this is definitely one of those things where you definitely have to trust the process. I will not be coloring my hair or retwisting my hair in this video, so make sure your post notifications are on, because I will have a detailed video on how I do that. But I do highly recommend going in and washing and conditioning your hair after installing these. Although I wash my hair before and I wash the lock extensions before installing, I do feel like once you wash them and condition them and wet them and retwist them and stuff, they just blend together a lot nicer. Because right here, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I wasn't feeling this, but after everything was completed, I feel like the locks definitely meshed well, or meshed better with my natural locks. And I also think this is one of those things where it's gonna take time to really settle, and fingers crossed that it'll just get better over time, because you can still see some areas where like the lock extensions start, but again, I think over time they'll settle in nicely. So here is the final look, you guys. You guys don't see me retwisting my hair in this video. Just stay tuned, because I will have a retwisting and coloring video for this look. But this is how my hair looks after it's been retwisted. I touched up my roots. So basically, after installing them, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was nervous because the way that they looked right after I finished compared to now, it's a huge difference. And I was kind of getting nervous, like maybe I shouldn't have done this. Did I make the right decision? Oh my God, hopefully this comes out right. But I will say that after coloring my hair, after washing and conditioning it again, and retwisting, I love the results. I love it. I love my hair. That's all I can say is I love my hair. And not only love the way that it came out, I think I'm really in love with it too, is because it's just so rewarding doing something that you've been wanting to do, and it goes and it meets your expectations, like there's no better feeling than that. So I'm gonna turn around and give you guys like a 360 of my hair in a second, but I do just want to give a quick recap of everything in case I missed some details throughout this video. So first and foremost, this entire process took about 10 days, so a week and a half. Obviously it wasn't active work the entire 10 days, but from combing out the ends of my locks to installing them, to coloring my hair and retwisting it, it took a total of 10 days. The thing that took the longest was honestly combing out the ends of my locks, but overall this is a very taxing process. I personally could only stand to do so much at a time because like my hands were hurting. Like even now, I finished yesterday, even now my hands, they're sore today. So I would recommend honestly just scheduling like a whole week to work on your hair. The actual install process with me attaching the locks, that only really took two days, a day and a half. I feel like that process you might be able to knock out like in one day depending on how many locks you have. But again, it's just a very taxing process. So I could only do so much before like I was done and I needed to give my hands a break. I did purchase this hair from Etsy. The seller on Etsy is African with a K, Locs. I ordered a total of 7 bundles. Each bundle comes with 10 locks. I purchased a total of 70 locks. I have 2 left, so I have 68 locks. I do recommend ordering more, just slightly more than what you need, just in case you have any issues. I also ordered a mixture of small and medium locks. The seller only sells small and medium. The small, I think she says, is comparable to like a pencil size, and then the medium is comparable to like a Sharpie size. So I got a combination of both because honestly I have some small and medium sized locks and I wanted it to look as natural as possible. The bundles start off at $36, but it goes up depending on the length and the size that you get. So I got a mixture of 8 and 10 inch bundles, and so I paid a total of $374 after tax and all of that. And prices will vary depending on how many locks you have. Again, I have 68 locks. If you have more locks than me, then you know it'll more than likely be more. If you have less locks, it'll be cheaper. Also, depending on the length you get, the longer you go, the more expensive it's going to be. But I paid a total of $374. Now, as far as the length, it ended up being a lot longer than I thought. I thought I was being modest getting like 8 and 10 inches. Like I wanted some length because I wanted to have some versatility to style it and everything like that. And so yeah, I expected them to be a little long, just because, you know, I knew they were 8 to 10 inches and then I already had 6 to 8 inches worth of locks. So once you combine those together, you know, I knew I would have some length, but I don't know, I just wasn't expecting it to be this long. But I am not mad at the length. So I pretty much focused the 10 inch in the back and the 8 inch at the top so I can have like this natural layered look. As you guys can see, like some of these ones in the front are shorter. I don't know if you guys can see. So yes, it hits me about bra strap length, especially if you are installing this yourself. It is definitely going to be trial and error. It is definitely a learning curve. I think I did pretty good. For this to be the first time I've ever done this, I think I did a really good job. Once I went in and like colored my hair and washed and conditioned it again, I did start to notice some slippage in some of my locks. So I did have to go back in and crochet some of those locks to fix them because they were just separating. This isn't like absolutely necessary, but it wouldn't hurt to order some like human bulk hair. So this is the hair that is usually used when you make the lock extensions. I purchased some of this when I first started my lock journey and I had the heat damage, and in my mind my twists were gonna look funny. So I had purchased this bulk hair to kind of feed into my 2-strand twist for my starter lock. So I used it to kind of repair some of the locks that were slipping. So for example, this one here. So this lock in particular is 2 locks that I combined at the end of last year. It was just, it wasn't the best combining of 2 locks. So as I was combing out the ends of my natural lock on this one, I can definitely start to see like where it was 2 different locks that were combined. And so I guess the first time I did it, it just didn't hook properly. So I went in with a little bit of this bulk hair, just like really a little bit like this. And I basically took a little piece and wrapped it how you would kind of do a faux lock, and then I took my crochet needle to kind of crochet it together, and that seemed to fix it. I don't know how long this repair will last, but right now I'm gonna just let it be. I think this is definitely something that I'm gonna have to maintain over time, but I'm not worried about that. I'll work with that over time. I'm trying to think to make sure I covered everything. I was just so excited to sit down and film this video. I didn't even make notes because I was like, I just gotta come and show y'all my hair. So I will say I was a little nervous about the blonde, but I do love the way that the blonde looks. I love like the highlighted look. I still get my color, but it's not super over the top and completely out of my comfort zone. The only thing that I'm really concerned about with this style is the ends of these loc extensions. I wanted like the curly ends, but I was definitely expecting more of a kinky curly, and this is given like afro curly. The texture of the locks on their own I love. I think they match my natural hair really well, but I'm just worried about maintaining these ends, you know, over time. This morning I just sprayed them with some water and put a little oil on them. They did shed as well, like when I was washing it and coloring it. Every time I wet the hair, honestly, the ends were kind of shedding. So I'm not crazy about that, but since I just installed them, I'm like, okay, let me give them some time to kind of settle in, and you know, I'll kind of monitor that over time. I'm probably for sure going to go pick up some leave-in conditioner just to keep the ends kind of soft and defined, because like this one right here, I feel like this texture is just more likely to produce knots and stuff. So yeah, I'm not crazy about the ends honestly, but I'm gonna work with them. I'm gonna give them a chance. So I will turn around and show you guys how my hair looks. First I was scared it was gonna be too full, but I like the density. Like, I don't know, I like the length, I like the density, everything about it. I just like it. So this is how it looks when I pull it to the front. I had it in the side part just because that's kind of how I retwisted it yesterday to fall like that. But here it is. Y'all, I cannot wait to like really play with it and style it. This is how it looks kind of like in the middle part. The hair is super lightweight. I forgot to say that. The hair is so lightweight, like it honestly doesn't feel like I have anything on my head. Now when it's wet, just like your natural locks, when your natural locks are wet, they're heavier. So yes, when my hair was wet, you can definitely feel the weight of them, but just as they're dry, they are very much lightweight. They have body and movement. I do have some bends on this side because of how my hair was tied up last night, but if I spray some water on it, it'll relax them. I just didn't want to spray too much water on it because I didn't want to mess up my retwist since my retwist was fresh. Showing you guys. I'm not encouraging y'all to get loc extensions if that's not what y'all want, but I wanted these and I can say that I am very happy with my decision so far. As far as like long term, I don't really know what they'll become. So obviously this is more so of like a permanent install, but it doesn't have to be permanent. It doesn't have to last forever. More than likely when my natural locks reach a length that I'm comfortable with or that I want, then I more than likely will just remove these, cut them off, comb them off. I don't really know yet. But yes, for now it's gonna be permanent until I feel like I don't want them anymore. So yes, that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you guys like want monthly updates, because I hear like a lot of mixed opinions as it relates to loc extensions. Like there's some people who like love them, there's some people who hated them, there's some people who loved them in the beginning and hated them after a while. So if you guys want monthly updates just so I can show you like in real time how that process works or my feelings about it, throughout the process, then definitely let me know because I'm open to doing those. But yes, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Snatched by Sharmel, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video.